Hello, hello. Hi, welcome in. Welcome to Our Soul's Journey podcast. It is the wonderful podcast you are listening to right now. And hi, welcome. I'm Lola. I'm the creator and the host here of this wonderful podcast. And I'm so glad you're here to join us. I am someone who's been in the spiritual space for about 10 years now. And I've seen many sides of this space, believe me. I'm a tarot reader, I'm an empath, and I'm someone who loves learning how to live a more soul-led life here on Earth. From the physical to the metaphysical to pretty much everything in between. This show's purpose is to help you become more comfortable in your spiritual journey and your spirituality because, say it with me, everyone's spiritual journey is unique to them. I know, what a concept. People can live out different spiritual journeys and they're both valid. Crazy. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Our Soul's Journey podcast and share it. Share it with your friends, your family, your dog walker on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. If you're like me, kind of off the grid a little bit with social media, go ahead and share it through messages or just when you're with your friends next, just show them in person, listen to the podcast, have a great time. One thing I've learned, especially in the last few months, has been when you find people who share your values, you find people that change your world. And one thing I value is my spirituality and my spiritual journey. And it doesn't look the same for everyone, but the idea, the belief, the values in the universe, and knowing that things happen as they should. So let's get on with what we're talking about today because I this is one of the this was one of the episodes where I kind of wasn't sure until it just hit me like, what am I going over in my life? What am I discussing? And that has been the entirety of this past Mercury retrograde. So there is an observation of it, what was going on around me, and there was me. And there was what I've learned from that. And this isn't going to be an hour-long podcast episode, but it is going to be a little bit detailed. If you go around on my channel, watch a few videos, you can figure out that I'm in the restaurant industry. And in my industry and where I work specifically, we've undergone new management. And we really weren't given any like idea of what would be changed, what would happen, or anything like that, which they didn't know. So they, I guess ownership couldn't really tell us because they didn't know. There have been quite a few changes. In fact, the where I work has been it's almost doing a 180. It's not so much doing a 180 in the wrong direction, it's doing a 180 in the right direction from a business perspective. But it is completely different and it is only going to get more different. There's going to be a change in service. There's going to be a change in sales. It's becoming a more sales driven restaurant instead of being what it is now, which I don't know that I could give it a right name now. It's not sales driven because that's the point of where I work in all restaurants is to make sure you're selling. The clientele that are coming in are going to be much different than the people who are coming in right now, and our hours are changing. Everything is changing and it is transforming. It's transforming into an entirely new place to work. Was that something I expected? Absolutely not. Was it something I anticipated? Absolutely not. Not to the extent that it is at least happening. And it's been challenging. It's been really challenging, I think, for a lot of the staff there. And in no way am I talking down, God forbid if anyone from work sees this. In no way am I talking down on my place of work. It's been really different, to say the least. And outside of Mercury retrogrades, everything, I am down with the change. I am down with I'm down with it. I love change. Even the challenging change, I appreciate. Even when it's challenging, I can appreciate it. But this was just week after week of changes and more changing and things we didn't expect and new standards to go by. And oh my goodness, it was crazy. And it's still happening, just not week after week after week. Like our hours changed, our paychecks have changed, our everything's changed, and it was all out of our control. And I think that I witnessed, and I'm still witnessing, a complete transformation of this restaurant that I work in. It is no longer going to be the place that it once was. And I'm not really here to comment on that. I'm just here to comment on the fact that, wow, it's going to be completely different in the next year. How did I cope with that change? Oh my God. It was depressing. I was having a really hard time. It felt like this place that was once aligned with me was slowly coming out of alignment with me. And that was not something I expected. And in that moment, I stepped back from spirituality because I just wanted to process it. And that's kind of the main point of what I wanted to talk about today. I have observed what I believe is a complete transformation of my place of work, where when I was hired, it was exactly what I wanted a long time ago. And now it's so much different, and it's only going to become more different. And in my time of coping and understanding what is happening and what's to be expected, I stepped back from all my woo-woo-ness. And you know what? That's totally okay. You don't have to live with your woo-woo-ness all the time. You can. It's a choice. But in the moments when you feel as though you don't have much energy and you're burnt out and you're not what you are used to being, it's okay. I work with a deity. I saw her for the first time in maybe 3 weeks last night. I'm supposed to see her like once a week. And you know what? We had a quick talk. We literally talked about my job. It was great. I'm slowly returning to my beliefs and my routines and all the things that I think are a part of who I am. And especially since I've decided that I want to pursue building a business in spirituality because that's what I'm doing. I want to be a spiritual life coach. I want to help people and guide people through change. That's something I'm so passionate about. And I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that I get to do that for my life because if I don't, I think I would lose it. I started to reflect a little bit and I wondered, like, am I allowed to do this? Well, I have free will. I have a lot of sovereignty in my life about what I get to do and the choices I get to make. I can do pretty much like a lot of things. I can make a lot of choices and decisions. So should I feel guilty? I don't think so. No. So don't feel guilty. Look, maybe there's going to come a point in time where I'm going to have a different podcast episode where I'm going to say I went through a challenging time and maybe I should have leaned into tarot a little bit more. And maybe I should have balanced out my life. And maybe I should have done this or should have done that and leaned more into the woo woo side. But I think the best thing that I could have done for myself was exactly what I did. And that was step away from all the things that I loved. And it's not because that they weren't aligned with me. They were still aligned with me. Because a thought did cross through my mind, like, what if this isn't for me? And that was when panic set in. that was when, oh my God, no, this is my baby. Like, this is my love. This is me. But right now, that just wasn't the priority. And I didn't expect to have those feelings or that experience. And I'm happy I did because I get to tell you that you're fine. Step away from it. Step away from your tarot readings. Step away from your divination, your practices, your deities. You are allowed to do these things, and you are still yet a spiritual person. It's a journey, right? Everyone's spiritual journey is unique to them, and some journeys, you take a side road. We take a side quest, right? And sometimes that side quest has nothing to do with what we're on, right? We've all heard of it. That's the whole point of a side quest. It's just the most random shit. And maybe the most random shit to you right now is to step away from your practices. And guess what? You're still spiritual. So long as you choose to keep it a part of your identity and who you are, you're still spiritual. You don't need to feel guilt. I think some of this comes from religious trauma. I'm not a religious channel. I have my own opinions and thoughts about it, and I'm more of the love is love, woo woo, the universe. I really don't vibe with religion. It's not to say that it doesn't have its moments in higher powers, but I personally don't connect with religion. I think there's a lot of sexism and um, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate coming from the people who preach it. So I'm not that. I'm not a part of that. That is not me, and this is not this channel. I welcome all who are willing to listen for sure. Um, so I think part of the guilt that some people may feel when they step away from their spirituality, it stems from witnessing religious trauma or hearing the rules of religion, all this. But at the end of the day, when you practice spirituality, it's not like that. You have your divinity inside of you each and every moment of the day. It is your choice to connect with it, to tap in, to live the path you want is always your choice. And if you choose to pick up spirituality one day, you practice it, and then you choose to put it down for 10 years, well, that's your choice. What if that was your purpose in life? What if that's what you're supposed to do in the first place? Imagine feeling guilty over that. What if, let's go into this what if for a second. What if you were the person who one day you were 20 years old, you started reading tarot, you loved it, and for 3 years, divination, spirituality, uh, yoga practice, whatever, whatever was your identity. And one day, in an authentic decision and genuine and honest decision with yourself, you said, honestly, I just don't think this is my path right now. So you put it all inside a box, you stick it in the back of your attic or your basement or your garage or an extra room in your house or your office, and you let it sit. And you let that sit for 10 years. And in those 10 years, you live different lives. What if you chose to start doing nails? You work at a salon, you make a nail business doing manicures, and then you decided, I really like cosmetology. I'm going to pursue a cosmetology career. So you go and you start doing hair. And then you're like, well, I really love the arts. Maybe I should go back to school and be an art teacher. And you are there 10 years later, and you are teaching an entire generation art. and you open up that box one day after a few years of teaching and you think, oh my goodness, I'm in love with this again. What if that was what you were supposed to do? What if that was the perspective that you had to get? That's the thing about spiritual journeys. And I had to take a few weeks off of mine. And actually, it wasn't even because I didn't vibe with it. It was because I was just feeling so much. And I could not let messages from the divine in. I needed to undergo things by myself in my own rational mind and observe my thoughts about what my journey meant and what my beliefs are and what my values were during that time. So do not feel guilty because everything will turn out as it's meant to be. Okay? You are allowed to step away from your practices. I cannot express this enough. You are allowed to step away from your practices, especially if you're experiencing burnout. I would encourage you to step away from them. You need to become back online and connected like this with your body again instead of feeling like this. You need to be like this. Okay. Saying it wasn't something that I really thought would happen. It was interesting. I wasn't thinking so much about the long term with it, with my decision to just step away. And it wasn't so much intentional. It was something that I actually kind of wanted to do. But I knew because I'm listening more and more to myself each day, I knew that it wasn't right. I was not going to get answers that I wanted to hear. And I wasn't going to be able to accept the fact that I was going to get answers that I needed to hear. And let this be encouragement to you. Step away because you can always come back to your journey later. That's what I have for you today. Uh, I liked it. I loved this episode. I'm so excited. Just in general, because I know that this is going to help someone. And if this is you, oh my God, please, from the bottom of my heart, I know that it's kind of wild to think, oh my God, I'm going to step away from this, but it's okay. It's just a divination. You can always pick it back up later. Always. Because I've done that multiple times. So, yeah, like I said, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. If you have any comments, please, or any questions, please comment them. I would love to answer them. And until next time, see you soon.